This is the Phillies Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Philadelphia Phillies. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Boy, oh boy, welcome to the show, everybody. This is Locked On Phillies Postcast and Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. My name is Mark Farzetta. I got you covered for each and every one of your Locked On Phillies Postcasts. Connor Thomas has you covered for each and every one of your Locked On Phillies daily podcast and content. And yes, this is the podcast, the postcast, the official postcast of the first place Philadelphia Phillies after taking 2 of 3 from the New York Mets. Do you remember that time that the Phillies played the Mets in April and all the Mets fans were blowing up the chat and they're like, you guys suck, we're your daddies, you're our children, you suck. I think it was just like that. I think that was a perfect impression of a Mets fan. And then you guys are done, you know. Well, not this time. Not this time. Not this time. Phillies take 2 of 3. And how about this? Phillies wallop the Mets in game 1. Then the Mets get their revenge. And then the Phillies again in a game that mattered most. Was it the Phillies offense that came up small? Oh, no. Was it the Phillies offense that came up small against their ace? Oh, no, it wasn't. And I know Kodai Senga didn't pitch. He didn't pitch in the first series either. But still, Phillies 7-1 in the game that mattered, the decisive game 3 of the 3-game series. The rubber match, if you will. The Phillies dominated this baseball game. And that brings me to the number one man himself.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
I mean, how do you go? Look, Edmundo Sosa was great. We'll get to him. Jesus Luzardo tonight was absolutely electric. He had me a little bit worried just with his pitch count in the first 2 innings of the game. He was at 38 pitches in the first 2 innings. I know it wasn't god-awful terrible, but it was going up there. And he did not look like he had his absolute best stuff. But bottom line is he was getting outs. They might have been battles. They might have been struggles, but he was getting outs. So there's 7 pitch at bats, 8 pitch at bats. Yes, a bevy of those over the first 2 innings. However, he was still getting outs. When he needed to get the put-away pitches, he got the put-away pitches. And then he settled in beautifully. 15 pitches in the 3rd inning, 15 again in the 4th. Then in the 11th, then in the 5th inning, 11 pitches, 6th inning before he was taken out in the 7th. He had 12 pitches in that 6th inning. He gets you 2 more outs, starts that 7th inning at 92 pitches, gets you 2 outs before, unfortunately, he was pulled. Terrens lined out to center field, and that was that. They brought in Jordan Romano to come in and close that one out, and he did just that. Loved what I saw from Jesus Luzardo, and I also loved the mix of pitches over the 7 strikeouts that he had in tonight's ball game. Absolutely beautiful. 7 strikeouts, 107 pitches tonight. Was using the changeup, was using the curveball, fastball, the whole array of pitches. Now, if you remember, he was trying to get more and more away from his sinker. The sinker was kind of flattening out, didn't have the great run on it, so to speak. Certainly seemed like he had some good run on it tonight. Like I said, curveball was working well. Slider worked well tonight. He was using everything to get his outs and his put-away pitches, and it was working beautifully. Looking at that 5th inning, he gets Taylor to fly out to center field. Mauricio strikes out on that slider. Then he gets Acuna to strike out on the changeup. Changeup was working very well tonight as well. Got Mauricio earlier in the game in that as well, using a changeup. That was the one that left him swinging. I'm sorry, not swinging, spinning, chasing that changeup that was very much down in the zone, and he swung over top of it. Absolutely a clinic tonight for Jesus Luzardo through 6 2/3 scoreless innings of baseball. And one more time, I mentioned the 7 strikeouts, but how about this? 3 hits. 3 hits and a walk. 3 hits and a walk for Jesus Luzardo, helping his first-place Phillies get into it. Now, here's the deal. You're going into that 4th inning. Now, the Phillies have had some luck as of late in that 4th inning. They had some luck there, they had success, I should say. In Miami, big 4th inning. Phillies game 1 of this series, big 4th inning, get things going for themselves. Well, this time they have their biggest 4th inning of their latest big 4th innings, okay? 5 runs. They got it started with Kyle Schwarber, and this is where you can certainly say the turning point came
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
This turning point brought to you by Kyle the Schwarberian with his 24th Schwar bomb of the season. He got things started off David Peterson there in the 4th inning. A 1-2 slider down in the count, gets the slider, just barrels it 432 feet, dead center field, right to the batter's eye. I thought this one was going on Ashburn Alley. a la Ryan Howard style on Ashburn Alley. Just came up a little bit short. Didn't quite clear the ivy there in dead center field over the batter's eye. Bohm comes up, lines out. Then Nick Castellanos steps up to the plate. He gets a first pitch slider. He wallops that one out there for a double in the left field corner. Then Real Muto works a walk. You got first and second with one out. Otto Kemp, baby, playing left field, getting his first big league start in left field tonight, which, by the way, love this. Absolutely love this for him. He gets the RBI single to left field. Now it's a 2-0 ball game. That one just went off of Francisco Lindor's mitt. So it's a game of centimeters sometimes. That one just glanced off Lindor's mitt, trickles into shallow left field for the base knock for him, the RBI base knock. And then Edmundo Sosa, again, the slider doesn't slide quite enough. 1-0 slider, Edmundo Sosa barrels that one 430 feet to center field for the 3-run home run. And just like that, the Phillies had turned a bit of a corner. 5-0 lead for your Phillies right there. Schwarber comes back up, bat around in that inning. Unfortunately, he fouled out to first base, and that was that. But the damage was done. 5 runs, 2 home runs by your Phillies in that inning, and they were off and running. Again, you have a 1-2-3 inning in the 5th inning, so a shutdown inning after that by Jesus Luzardo. He goes back out there for the 6th, another 1-2-3 inning for him, and you were coming up roses. Phillies tacked on a couple more runs there in the 7th inning. Alec Bohm with a sac fly RBI, Nick Castellanos with another RBI, with another double, I should say. His RBI made it a 6-0 game, then 7-0 game before Francisco Lindor ended up taking Lazar deep for the only run of the game there for the New York Mets. As far as what you'll be talking about tomorrow,
this is what you'll be talking about.
I think what you guys will be talking about tomorrow. Now, Phillies have an off day. They start a series with the Houston Astros down there in Houston. But I think what y'all will be kicking around tomorrow is how much this helps your sanity for the rest of the season. Now, I know. The Phillies go on the All-Star break. The Phillies go on the trade deadline and all that stuff. That'll really solidify things as to how we really feel about this baseball team. But let's just live in a world where they don't take 2 of 3 from the Mets. Let's not even live in a world where they get swept by the Mets again. Let's live in a world where they win, 1 game in this series. We're calling for Rob Thompson's head. We're doing wild things like trading Alec Bohm. Nick Castellanos is getting, people want to deal him for remarks against Rob Thompson. I know that's been talked about on each one of the unique telecasts from Apple to Fox to ESPN. We really made the round trip, didn't we there, Phillies fans, on this series with the Mets. And Mets fans, you guys did too. So all of it, the whole gambit was covered there. And every single time, Nick Castellanos and Rob Thompson, they had words. Did you know that? I'm like, how about that? So thank you for that insight. This is the first time I heard that it actually happened in the dugout, which I guess where else would it have happened? But that's apparently where it went down. But either way, they lose this series against the Mets. Not even get swept, but lose this series against the Mets, and all hell is breaking loose right now. It is a sigh of relief for me and my sanity that they beat the Mets 2 out of 3. And as I told you last night, if the Phillies would have swept the Mets in this series and won every game 10-0, that still wouldn't have convinced me, the Phillies are definitely winning the World Series. Like, I'm not. That is a rose-colored glasses type situation. I ain't built like that. I think most of us are like me, where we just have the trust issues with this Phillies team. And no matter what they do in April, May, June, or July, we're looking at August, we're looking at September, and we're looking at what that could mean for the month of October above anything else. So, yes, all this does is help my agita until they face the Mets again. That's all that does. You'll face the Dodgers again. You'll face the Braves again. All this does is calm my agita, and I'm sure yours too. Maybe for some people, anxiety for the rest of the season until we meet again. That's all it does. It could be worse. Now, with that being said, I heard something on tonight's broadcast that I did not like one little bit. We're going to get to that when we return. This is Locked On Phillies Postcast on the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Back after this. Let's take a second to talk about wonderful pistachios. Love ourselves some wonderful pistachios. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with wonderful pistachios. Wonderful pistachios is the highest protein nut. How about that? One of the highest protein nuts out there. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep keeping you fuller longer. Personally, I love the no-shell variety. Who's got time to crack open those shells? You know what I'm saying? Just handful, all that protein, delicious. So make sure you guys take advantage of the no-shell variety from wonderful pistachios. And how about this? Also, the ones that do have the shells. If that's what you're into, that's what you're into. You know, we all like our own things. Wonderful pistachios is where it's at. Get cracking and maybe get snacking too with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. That's wonderfulpistachios.com. How about FanDuel? You guys getting in on all the action when it comes to FanDuel? NBA Finals, for instance, getting in on that. FanDuel has so much more to offer than just the NBA Finals. Want to get involved in the baseball? Want to get involved in MLB? Want to get involved in any of that? Huh? FanDuel is where it's at. Make sure you guys log on to FanDuel.com. And how about this? If you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up because you can enter FanDuel.com, place your first $5 bet. And if it wins, you get $200 in bonus bets from FanDuel. How about that? Once again, you're new to FanDuel. It's a perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. And if it wins, you get $200 in bonus bets. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off, before face-off, before kickoff, before first pitch, whatever it might be, with player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. So once again, new to FanDuel, perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more of FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. One thing I heard during the broadcast tonight before we get to the chat check, and it was they're showing Dave Dombrowski. I always love this, showing Dave Dombrowski, president of baseball ops, and they're like, oh, trade deadline. Oh, what are they going to do? And one of the things that got said is, I know the Phillies are looking at, I don't remember who said it during the broadcast, but they're like, I know the Phillies are looking at the trade deadline, and they're kind of looking at Aaron Nola as if he could be that acquisition. And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Not for a second. Don't you dare think of Aaron Nola as like, oh, well, he's coming back from injury, so that's like an acquisition. Yeah, but it's not. You still need to be better than Aaron Nola. That's even assuming he comes back and he's like his 2018 self, where he was like actually competing for a Cy Young Award. Like, we're not going to do that, right? We're not going to be like, well, Aaron Nola's coming back, so we're going to be fine. You're not fine. Your bullpen still. Jordan Romano not being in the closer role, like we were saying in the Toronto series, like, yeah, he ain't it. When it comes to being a closer, the guy slam the door, he ain't it. Since he has not been that guy, Jordan Romano has been great. Deborah loves it. But Jordan Romano does not belong in that closer role. They found a more suitable role for him right now, and I love the role that he's in right now. Max Kepler has been better as of late. Otto Kemp has come up and he's helped you. That's great. None of these guys should be looked at right now as the key. Oh, well, you got these guys going, so we may not need. No, you need. Learn from the mistakes of last year. Add significantly to this ball club, particularly when we're talking about the bullpen. And I still think they need another bat. I think the no doubt about it is the bullpen. And I think the bonus feature would be them getting another bat in this lineup. That I would love to see. But I don't want to hear any of this nonsense. Even Bryce Harper, can't wait till he comes back. Hopefully within the next 10 days or so. He was talking about it tonight. He's fielding some swings. It's great. But I don't want to be looking at Bryce Harper as if he's that key acquisition either. He was hitting great before he went on the IL. Near 300 for a month. Over 300 for a month, excuse me. I'd love to have that back in the lineup, but I'm still not going to look at that guy as if he's the key acquisition. If you can get a corner outfielder, you can get a first baseman, then you do it. But, we're getting Aaron Nola back, so we're good. And again, that's not what Rob Thompson said. Or not Rob Thompson. Dave Dombrowski said. It's not what he said. That's what was implied during the broadcast. I know that they're looking at Aaron Nola like he could be that big acquisition. He ain't. Even if he comes back and he's great. Wonderful. Bonus. But you can't rest on that laurel. You need to go out there. You need to make sure this club is much better after the trade deadline, that you have made the upgrades necessary. Austin Hayes, he's been good for everybody else but the Phillies. Not the guy that the Phillies should have been hunting last year. But still, you're going to need to make that upgrade, that elusive upgrade to left field or even first base if Bryce Harper's got to go back out there in the field. Which I think with an elbow injury, by the way, a wrist injury, that ain't happening. And I sure as hell don't want to see Kyle Schwarber go back out to the outfield either. So if they're going to do anything, it's going to be for that left fielder. And hey, Otto Kemp gets his first start in left field tonight, comes up with a base knock and an RBI. Good for you, fella. Let's see what you guys have to say in the chat check. Let's jump into it right now. After the Phillies take 2 of 3 from the New York Mets, they win the series. They went in even. Phillies are in first place by a game. You love to see it. Morgan Landy, what's going on? Love how Sosa redeemed himself after getting picked off at second base, hitting the 3-run home run. Yeah, that was frustrating. That was somewhat frustrating. A lot frustrating. Whole hell of a lot frustrating. He got the leadoff single there in the 3rd inning. Infield single. Buddy Kennedy came up, worked a walk. How about Buddy Kennedy getting in the lineup tonight? He worked a full count and a walk. So they got first and second, nobody out. You know you're facing Peterson, really good pitcher. Guy owned you earlier in the year. He gave up 8 hits, which was something we stressed last night. Phillies, I think, got 10 hits tonight, whatever it was. But then Sosa with Johan Rojas at the plate. Comedy of errors. Rojas couldn't get the bunt down, and he knew he was bunting in that situation, but couldn't get the bunt down. I think it was the next pitch. They try to pick off Sosa, and they do. So now you got to run around first with 1 out. Sosa ends up grounding into Rojas ends up grounding into the fielder's choice. So now you got 2 outs in the inning just like that. And then Trey Turner strikes out, sliding at a ball down and in. Or strikes out, swinging over top a slider down and in. Yeah, that did not make you feel good. JDM, love it. We're back, baby. Jess Patrick, today the Phillies bench is better than the Mets. Deal with it, New York. We're coming for you. Oh, we've came for you. We've arrived. You don't really arrive to the playoffs, but whatever. Praise Jesus, says Graham Francis. What's up, Graham? Evelyn, hi, Farzy. Lights out. Luzardo, sensational. Sosa, love alliteration. Lead us to the win. Great comeback after yesterday's mess. Keep it up. Go Phils. Hell yeah, Evelyn. Thank you. Bam Man 100. Just a really good all-around game today, led by some great pitching by Jesus Luzardo. Absolutely. Graham, thank you for clarifying. Praise Jesus, the Luzardo version. There you go. Bam Man. And the Phillies beat up on Peterson, who's had their number. Absolutely. Michael Evans, what's going on? Phillies win the series. I will sleep well tonight. Yeah, see that? Agita, anxiety? Yeah, out the window. You know what I mean? We can bask in it. James Alexander, Luzardo pitched very well tonight. I'm going to the game against Cincinnati Reds. Very nice. Purchase certificate. Okay, there you go. Sands a pickoff. There you go. Polar Buck, that was awesome. Happy for Sosa. He needed that, says Tommy Shrove. Yes, he did. His numbers were atrocious going into tonight. Thank you for mentioning that. According to Corey Simon of NBC Sports Philly, Edmundo Sosa had been 3 for 39 in the month going into tonight. He was 3 for 4 in the ball game. Not too bad. Polar Buck says Sosa should be the player of the game. You could certainly say that. David Roman, what's going on? Jesus and his glasses for the win. Is he the Mets killer? Well, he is now. Philly and 8, what's going on? Glad to see Luzardo right the ship since starting next Saturday when my wife and I take our 4-year-old daughter to her first game and see the Phillies pound on Atlanta. That's beautiful. Enjoy. You guys know I took my daughter to her first game. It was the Brewers beat down on the Phillies. My daughter going to be 6 this summer. My son 3.5. They didn't care. They loved it. They loved it. Absolutely loved it. Greatest thing ever. Michael Evans, what's going on? Do other teams get picked off the base paths as much as the Phillies? That's been a problem for the Phillies, unfortunately. You know what I will say? Totally off topic. I think the Phillies have the best pitch comm system in all of baseball. Because whenever I'm watching these games, it's never the Phillies that are having the issues. It's always somebody else. So the audio-visual department of the Phillies, good job by you guys. King Darius, we're leading the division now. Go Phils. Go Phils. Yeah, Tommy Shrove, I wish I knew what Luzardo's ERA would be without those two. It would be amazing. Chips and Cellos, is that what that is? After all this, they're still down 4-2 against the Mets this year. Yeah, that was then. This is now. Dom, without those 2 games, Luzardo's ERA is, good Lord. That's insane. Thank you, Dom. Joseph Grillo, also good answer for the Mets. Game 2 beatdown. Absolutely. They bounce right back. And let me go back to this real quick. How often are we used to seeing the Phillies bats shrivel up in the big moments? Well, Phillies put up 7 runs tonight. The Mets put up 1. So that makes you feel pretty damn good. TSD 40-27. Thank goodness we sent those loser Mets packing into second place. Hell yeah. Mikey B, I like Kemp out there in left field, as do I. Tommy Schroeder, oh, you did the math. You did that. That's a fun little exercise, do the ERA math. Without the 8 and 12 run game, the 20 earned runs, it's 245. Holy pots and pans. TSD, Castellanos is untradeable. No one would take him without getting a huge amount of the. Yeah, I don't think he's getting paid anyway. Michael Schrober, hello. Schober, hello. Magnificent. My wifey can't prank you this time. Great. Phillies win. Womp womp Mets. There you go. Little G Griffin, what's going on? Phillies win the game. Yeah, damn right they do. Leave the ballpark. Oh, go Sixers. Leave the ballpark now. Great weekend, Farzy. Damn right it's a great weekend. Go Sixers. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the ball. Enjoy the ball game. My man, Dan Baker. Robert, what's going on? I loved how Luzardo strategically allowed Lindor to hit a meaningless home run, or Lazar, excuse me, meaningless home run to end the home run streak, one short of the record. Genius, right? Joel Evers, Kemp, better than Alonso, confirmed. Greater than. Anthony Motti, Otto Kemp first 10 games, 320 batting average, 12 hits, 5 RBIs. Pete Alonso's first 10 games, 310, 11 hits, 4 RBIs. What? They're the same. They're the same person. Luzardo to the bullpen. Don't see it happening. Thank you. Farzy can't bench the bar. Farzy, if there was a way to insert espresso directly into your veins, would you sign up for trial? No, I would not. I would not. Because each sip of espresso is a mini vacation for me. I'm not kidding when I say this. And if I sip my espresso and the crema is already gone, like for instance, a lot of times, father of young kids, people with coffee, the regular coffee drinkers, all that stuff, you have your coffee and then you're about to take your first sip and then something happens, you got to take care of it. You come back to the coffee later, it's ice cold, you know? Well, if I get back to my espresso, if that happens in the crema, I just throw it out. I just throw it out and I start over because I need that hit, that beautiful taste of vacation. That's what it tastes like to me. Anyway, back to baseball. Jose Lopez Moya. Wow, the Phillies have played the Mets 6 times and have won only 2 games. What's there to rave about? That recently they have beat the Mets 2 out of 3 times. Recently, what matters? What's going on right now? Oh, and also another thing is Phillies are in first place. Mets aren't. That's another thing. So I enjoy that. Thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful as per usual. I will be back with you guys Tuesday night when the Phillies start a 3-game series against the Houston Astros down there in Houston. Houston 45-33 on the season. Phillies 47-31. That's a 8:10 start time. How about that? 8:10 start time down there in Houston. So a little bit later on the postcasts for that one. As for the remaining pre-All-Star break schedule, in Houston for 3, 8:10, 8:10, 2:10. And then a weekend series, another NL East weekend series, 3 in Atlanta against the Braves, 7:15, 7:15, 1:35 on Sunday. Then San Diego at home, Cincinnati at home, and then they end the first half of the season on the West Coast, 3 in San Francisco against the Giants, and 3 in San Diego against the Padres. That's the way that one boils down. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys hit like and subscribe on all things Locked On Phillies, all things Locked On Sports, all things Locked On 76ers. Me and Keith Pompeo will be breaking down the latest in the NBA draft. We'll be breaking that down starting tomorrow in the Locked On 76ers Daily Podcast that I host with Keith now. And also Tuesday and Thursday, I got you guys with the Locked On Eagle Squad Podcast. Jason Bertitas, Harry Mays, Louis DiBiase, and yours truly. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Be back with you guys Tuesday. Can't wait for that. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. And hey, Let's go Phillies, your first place Phillies.